Hi everyone, welcome back to YLOG 3rd grade worksheet lesson number 2. And to start off, we're going to be using standard form to write each number. So for number 1, we have 600 plus 20 plus 6. And to write in standard form, this means that we're just going to write it regularly. So if there's 600, this goes in the hundreds place, so we write a 6. The 20 means we write a 2 in the tens place, and the 6 means we write a 6 in the ones place. And so a standard form number is 626. For number 2, we do the same thing. So we have 300, meaning that this goes into the 100 spot. We have 80, meaning it goes into the 10 spot. And we have 4. We're just going to put that in the 1 spot. So our answer for number 2 is 384. Moving on to number 5, here we have 3 hundreds, 5 tens, and 9 ones. But this time it's written differently as it's written in a word form. But that's still the same thing. So 3 hundreds is equal to 300, 5 tens is equal to 50, and 9 ones is equal to 9. And just like we did for the first two problems, we can just put them in. So 300 goes into the 100 spot, 50 goes into the 10 spot, and 9 goes into the 1 spot. And so for number 5, our answer is 359. And lastly, we can just do number 7, which is 6 hundreds, 6 tens, and 5 ones. And just like we did for number 5, we can just translate these into their actual numbers first, meaning 6 hundreds is equal to 600, 6 tens is equal to 60, and 5 ones is equal to 5. And just like we did for all the other ones, we're just going to put them in. So 6 hundreds means the 6 goes into the 100 spot, so we get 6 right here. 6 tens, or 60, means that we put the 6 in the 10 spot, so we get 66. And for our last number, we have 5 ones, or just 5, and we're just going to put this into our 1 spot. So for number 7, our answer is 665. Moving on to the next page, here we're using the expanded form to write each number. Basically, expanded form is we're going to break down our number into a separate spot, into a completely separate thing, where it looks like we're adding each separate place. For example, we have 1,111, and to break this down, we have 1,000 plus 100 plus 10 plus 1. And so to translate this to our actual thing, we have 1, which is 9,152. And let's break this down starting from the thousand spot first. And here we have a 9, which means that it's 9,000. So for our first number we're going to write is 9,000 plus, and for a 100 spot we have a 1, so meaning that it's 100. So we're going to do 9,000 plus 100 plus, we have a 5 in the tens place, meaning that it's 50. So we're going to put 50 right here. And we're just going to lastly add whatever is in the 1 spot, which is 2. And so our expanded form for number 1 is 9,000 plus 100 plus 50 plus 2. For number 2, we're going to do the same thing, and since we have a 5 in the thousands place, we're going to put a 5,000 right here. And then we have 4 in the hundreds place, which means 400. 6 in the tens place, which means 60. And a 3 in the ones place, meaning 3. Moving on to the side, we're just going to do the same thing again. And we have a 2 in the thousand spot, meaning it's 2,000. We have a 6 in this 100 spot, meaning that's equal to 600. We have a 4 in the tens place, which equals to 40. And we have a 3 in the ones place, just meaning 3. So our expanded form for number 7 is 2,000 plus 600 plus 40 plus 3. Moving on to our next page, we have find the next number in each pattern. And for number 1, our pattern goes 10, 20, 30, 40, blank. And so we're trying to find the next number in this pattern. And to find our pattern, we can just see what's the similar between each problem, or each number here shown. And we have 10 to 20, which is a plus 10 difference. 20 to 30, which is another plus 10 difference. And then 30 to 40, which is another plus 10 difference. This tells us that our pattern is add 10. So to get our next number, we're just going to add 10 to 40, and we get 50 as our answer for number 1. For number 2, we have 430, 425, 420, 415, and blank. And so we're going to find the difference, or the difference between each number. So 430 to 520 is minus 5, 425 to 420 is also minus 5, and 420 to 415 is also minus 5. And that tells us that our pattern is subtract 5. And so to get our blank, we're just going to subtract 5 from 415. And that gets us 410. So our answer for number 2 is 410. We can do the same thing over here on the other side, as we have 264, 262, 260, 258, and blank. And we're just to find the differences. So from 264 to 262, we have minus 2. From 262 to 260, we have also minus 2. And from 260 to 258, we have minus 2. And we can see that our pattern is minus 2, meaning to find our blank, we're just going to subtract 2 from 258, which gets us our answer of 256. Lastly, our word problems. So for number 1, we have Aaron checked out 7 books and 5 movies. Matthew checked out 8 books and 3 movies. Who checked out more items? So to find out who checked out more items, we're going to first write down what we know, since we know that Aaron checked out 7 books and 5 movies, and Matthew checked out 8 books and 3 movies. And we're going to add these first together to get 12 books, and we have 8 plus 3, which gets us 11 items. And so, since we're trying to find out who checked out more items, not specifically who checked out more books or more movies, we can see that Aaron checked out a total of 12 items, while Matthew checked out a total of 11 items. And since we know that 12 is greater than 11, we know that Aaron checked out more items for number 1. For number 2, Harold used 43 tens and 7 ones to model a number. What other way could he have modeled the same number? So, since we know that Harold used 43 tens, meaning he used 43 10 times, and he has 7 ones. So, to find out our standard number, we're going to do 43 times 10, which is basically just 1 times 43 plus the 0 at the very end, which gets us 430, and plus 7 equals 437. In another way, he could have modeled the same number. Instead of using 43 tenths, he could have broken it up as using 4 hundredths, which equals 400, and then 3 tenths, which equals 30, and then 7 ones. As when we add these all up, we still get 437 as our answer. So Harold could have modeled it as 4 hundredths, 3 tens, and 7 ones. Lastly, George used 1 thousands, 5 hundredths, 7 tens, and 4 ones. What number did he model? So, since we know he used 1,000, we're going to put a 1 in the thousand spot. Oh, let me just scratch that. Let me rewrite that right here. And he has 5 hundredths, so we're going to plug in 5 in the hundred spot. 7 tens, meaning we put a 7 in the 10 spot, and 4 ones, meaning we just put in 4 at the very end. So we know that George modeled 1,574, also known as 1,574.